Hello everybody, Virtus Pro taking on Forze. Start us off here in Esea MDL. My name is Mitch, with me is the beautiful Dean, and we're ready to get 4 best of ones underway.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I mean, this first game here, I'm a little bit iffy about just because the map, of course, bars are okay here on this. They have some decent results. They're willing to play it a lot, but VP, on the other hand, they've only played it like 5 times or something in the past 3 months and are yet to get a victory on it. So it's a little bit worrying, but I don't think it's going to be a super one-sided game just because of the fact that it's also not a very good map here for Forze. So there's still chance for VP, but I think if I was to give a prediction right now, I think Forze will be a little bit favored in this one.
Yeah, I would lean towards Forza, but not even particularly because of the map. When you look at the teams that VP are playing, it's the likes of FaZe, they're playing Vanguard, Heroic, and Smash, with an Espada sprinkled in, although they didn't do too well against Espada either. But just on an individual level at the moment, I feel like Forza are the team that would take it over the line. And looking at the pistol round now, Forza picking up the smoke and 2 flashes and looking for a very fast B rush.
Yeah, as you can see, it's Snacks here waiting for it. I mean, he's definitely had some amazing pistol rounds in the past. This time, though, only going to be able to get that 1 kill before he does eventually go down. The smoke going to be placed with that. The bomb should be planted. And you can see, actually, VP, they want to come in before it can go down. Gives them a little bit of a better chance in terms of the manpower. And I mean, so far, not going horribly. Veggie with headshots, all 3 of them. I cannot believe he came out on top of that last 1 versus 1 right there. It was a little bit awkward for him, managed to jump around, get the reload in, and take down the 2 remaining players. A massive clutch coming through. The defuse being found without the kit as well. And there it is, VP picking up the opening pistol round, and I'd say that is very important for them here. As we said, statistically, this is looking like it should be a better game for Forza than it is for VP on this too.
Yeah, really headstrong teams like Forza. You saw their confidence going straight in for that B rush, the Russian strategy. And VP, though, on the retake, they just bomb on in there. They realize their best chance is when the players are still grouped up towards the site and they've at least got some info to go with. Don't want to allow any post plans to come through. Now we look at VP with a huge advantage. Snatchy even getting an AWP out in round number 2 alongside an M4 and lots of SMGs. Now, the thing for oppers in round 2, generally, if you see an op, it's going to be glass cannon, but Snatchy's managed to get enough cash. He's looking fine. It was on the back of, obviously, lots of kills coming in the previous round for the likes of Veggie, that they can help dropping him over. I think that's it is Veggie's op that he has, so that's the benefit of getting the cash on the board, getting your defuses and your kills. Now, VP holding down towards the B site. You've got Snacks and who's at PHR, so 2 SMGs that are going to be taking this fight. And considering Forza have bought up that Krieg, it won't be too easy.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some chances actually the Deagle to find a bit of an opening here for Forza, but instantly Snack's going to be the one that comes in, MP9 in hand, building up some bank, and mowing down the terrorists as he does so. USP now in hand. Needs to be cautious. They don't want to lose too many players here this round, and I mean, both of these right now are struggling just a small amount. Excess power eventually falls back onto the scout. I think he does realize that he was being flanked out there in tunnels. A little bit too late for him. Either way, goes down to Veggie. And there it is, 2-0 for VP. But yeah, Snatchy didn't really get a chance to do much there in that round. Fortunately, kind of, because losing that op, especially if he was one to go down early on, could have got dangerous. But I mean, overall, Forze, they invested a bit into that round. Were able to get a couple kills. I don't think they're too upset. Coming onto the full buy right now, this is where it matters. Of course, the op is going to be available for excess power over on the other side. Snatchy still having his one. Been able to back it up a little bit more now with the utility. And Forza immediately just going to be going for this long control. The flashes are perfect, and as you can see, VP just going to go ahead and have to give it up.
The Krieg upgraded for Veggie as well. It's a very powerful weapon to have over on the CT side and given over so early as well, considering we're only in round number 3. And for Forza, they're looking for an A split. They've got an AWP in play for Zapower and potential access towards Pit. The smoke is faded, so they have to drop another one just to make sure he gets in there for free. They're going to clear it out first before he dives on through, and there we go. Now an Alper posted up in Pit's a huge difficulty for the CTs. Actually going to go for the peek here on the Snatchy and finds it, winning out the duel and opening up A long completely. Nobody will have the balls to re-peek that, knowing there's an op there, so they decide to rotate around and pressure through short, but this could be a mistake with Snacks in position down in tunnels.
I don't know. This has been a strange round so far from VP. I mean, it may still be returned. As you can see, the trade's being found pretty much everywhere by either side. Veggie now pushing up on short as well. Maybe able to find Jerry if he does. Excess power also up close with the op, though. Just about able to turn around. The 1-for-1 trade, something he is going to be happy with. Gives him access to that bomb site now, of course, and is going to try and get that bomb planted. Okay, going for a very open one. It's risky if he was being followed, but also makes it a lot easier in terms of the after plant. Coming around on long quickly, though. It looks like he is at least being cautious. The op peeking in, and PHR goes down. There it is for excess power. That was a strange round from VP. They had PHR and Snacks pushed up in tunnels for a good 35 seconds, and I think they kind of just pushed slowly down towards the lower tunnels. A little bit interesting then that the player on the A-bomb site actually decides to peek in, because they pretty much have them trapped at that point. They're waiting for Forza to make the first move, because those players in the lower tunnels had the ability for a quick flank to come in. So, a strange one. But yeah, VP, as you can see off the back of it now, forced onto an eco.
Taking a look at Forza for the moment, the fact that they have started to slowly creep out long again, they're looking for that control later on. But they've left Power down towards middle instead. He's looking to cut off any rotations or aggression that comes in, maybe down towards the middle, because he has to cover Flit, who we just saw catching one in tunnels. Now they rotate around, look for the same strategy, one through short, rest through long, but VP have quickly rotated over. Nice kill for the SMG, a face crack, little bit of cash built up. And with a flash, though, pushing through the smoke, that gives them one, maybe even a second, and a third. What is going on here for VP? They got so much damage off in that round that they really had no right to do it in. And as well as that, Flit with the SMG coming through short wasn't able to upgrade. So they lose 3 rifles because of that.
Yeah, no, that was a way more costly round than Forza would have been hoping for. That definitely could come back to bite them, especially if they do on the blues in this round. Jerry, though, Krieg spamming down mid through the gap, actually able to pick himself up a headshot. PHR eliminated early on, and it looks like Forza aren't really going to give them any room to breathe now off the back of that. Trying to pressure on mid immediately. It will be Mihu to find one. They have a second player nearby. Snacks, who's going to be up close on the MP9 and actually manages to drop the bomb. That is interesting, going forward without any real help. Eventually, Jerry will come in for the trade again, and with the smoke down, Veggie and Snatchy right now cut off from that B bomb site, cut off from mid, not having a defuse. I don't even know if they want to contemplate this this retake at all. I think they should just be backing off, unless they're given a kill within the next couple of seconds, pretty much.
Making the right call, going in for the save. Like you said, if they don't find a kill immediately there, someone getting overly aggressive down towards CT, you're going to just be backing off. Prospects of winning the round are pretty low. So look towards their economy at this point. I mean, what do they do in the next round? Well, saving over the AWP and the AUG, it's a map that you get a couple of opportunities to maybe play a little bit more close range, like down towards long and in B tunnels. You can maybe take SMGs if you can get that advanced control early on. But I imagine well, especially because they'll have the money for the round after, I think we're going to just see maybe a few pistols at best bought up. But the other 3, I think, just take a very, very light buy. We'll see how that rolls.
That's most likely. $300 being spent by Snatchy to get a smoke. Snacks can maybe buy himself a pistol, maybe considering a double up setup in the next round, though, so I don't know if he is going to invest too much. Mihu getting himself a P250 and a flash, so I mean, there's the opportunity. The previous round where they only had those pistols and a flash to back it up, they were able to get themselves three kills out of it, so some good damage was connected. This time they have an op and an AUG as well, and a little bit more utility. So this definitely still could be a dangerous round here for Forza. Jerry, though, catching that mid-aggression, trying to calm things down. As you can see from VP, they have stacked up towards that B side of the map, towards mid, towards B. And with right now Forza pushing up through long, there's not really going to be a lot that VP can do about this. I do think saving the op and the AUG is going to be the option that they do go for. Maybe send those two pistols out to try and pick up a couple exits. And there's one kill already, so that's an extra weapon that can maybe be picked up. Flick goes down as well. I mean, the bomb is just being planted. This is dangerous.
Man advantage, but low HP on Mihu and Snatchy. I think they're probably going to just bunker up here and try to save, considering they've got that extra weapon. They know there's one on short. That's why we're seeing PHR stay in a very aggressive position. He finds the Krieg, and out he goes down and through the tunnels. 4 weapons picked up. Now, will they be able to save them? Because Forza haven't got the best of cash. So I would rather see them actually play tight, going into long, into pit, and save the weapons there. Even exiting through middle is quite dangerous, but at this point, they've no other choice. Luckily, they'll get away with it. And you can see that they really don't want to push too far. They don't want to hunt down these weapons because they know they can't afford to lose many more weapons before their economy starts to really fold like dominoes. And VP at this point, they couldn't have gotten off better. They got 4 weapons walking out of that round. It's hard in rounds like that where you've got 3 pistols to save over the 2 weapons that you've carried forward, because obviously the other team will want to hunt them. They'll want to take those out of your hands. They did so much damage early on that Forza couldn't even contemplate it.
Yeah, it was pretty much perfect. I mean, even if Forze hadn't got themselves those extra kills, or rather VP hadn't gotten themselves those extra kills, Forze still weren't really in a great position economy-wise. But yeah, being able to actually carry over the 2 ops, especially a big position now for them to be in. Couple of Kriegs as well. Always nice to have on that CT side, the long range ability on the scope, especially here on Dust 2. I'd say one of the maps where it's probably most viable. We even seen a kill coming down mid through the doors just a couple of rounds ago, sure. Right now, though, from the CT side, that short aggression going to be coming in. I think Forza may have a bit of an idea about that. You've seen a shot being sent off, and immediately the call comes in from Forza to go ahead and take that long control. They want to at least have something over on this A side of the map. They can't give it all up, rather. And most of the time when the short aggression has come in, at most you'd expect one player maybe in the pit on his own. Most of the time, though, it is just left open.
I mean, the pivotal part of this is obviously going to be short because VP have given up all that control. And at the moment, Forza are thinking about maybe poking at Jerry's here. He's calling that nothing's been shown on short, and they're all the way up long. He's got to realize at this point that this player's in position. Flit has not got a flash to throw over for him, so they've got to group up and push this together, but Flit is covering the back. So instead, they're distracting on the bomb side, allowing Jerry to come up behind, landing himself a kill, but they've lost 2 players in the process. But here's Flit's moment to shine. He was waiting here the whole time, and he lands one, but taken down directly after. Trigger discipline could have been a little bit better on that one.
Yeah, I was a little surprised he shot when the first player didn't actually clear it, but, I mean, wanted to be safe perhaps. Still a 2 versus 2, so the round is not over yet, and this is a perfect angle being held rather by Z-Power. Able to shut down the op in CT spawn, and Mihu coming in from long was already tagged up, but either way, just to be sure, the op shot is going to take him down. 5-2. I mean, there's been some close rounds so far, but that's not going to be good enough for VP. They need to start actually building up some rounds now for themselves. And thankfully, due to the weapons, of course, being saved over in that round before, they did build themselves up a bit of money. So they come straight back onto the buy despite losing that round. And, of course, the economy not spectacular for Forze. If we see VP taking one, the next round may be a little shaky then for Forze. If that one then goes in VP's favor, suddenly they're back in the game with a 5-5 scoreline. But this is where they want to start making it happen.
For Virtus Pro at the moment, it seems like being a little bit predictable is where their shortcomings are. I mean, Forza, you could see they had the read in that previous round, excuse me. And now they're opting for a little bit of a different strategy with that double op setup. They're going to look for the picks early on, but still playing quite passive. They've got long control, obviously nothing on short because of that. And the player looking for a mid push, a mid split from the top of B. But actually, we're seeing Snacks start to move down a little bit, get that little bit more aggressive, try to spot out short. He's not quite peaked fully around the angle just yet. So Snatchy and the boys are able to come up through short. And they're naded. Not too bad by Mihu. So with that control, where do they bring it? Well, smoking out, it looks like maybe we're going to see someone drop down into CT. Which, I mean, it's a completely open part of the map for VP at the moment. They've only got the control on long and a little bit of support when it comes towards that B site. They retake CT a little bit as you see Mihu's playing down below, but the crossover to site, and you can't lose Snatchy in this situation. They're pretty much locked out of this longer range duels, but as face crack falls, that's not damaging them quite as much. Short rotations are being watched by Almazer, and so coming in through CT and long are their only options, and Forza have more than enough manpower to cover off those angles.
Yeah, there is the diffuse kit for the CTs to work with, but no utility to make things a little bit easier. Couple trades actually do manage to come in from VP. In the meantime, over on long, Veggie has been spotted, of course, previously tagged up slightly, looking to try and finish him off with the Krieg. Flit will connect the headshot, rather. And Jerry, in the meantime, cleaning up that CT push. 6-2, another round going in favor of Forze. Another close one, but this time around VP, they unfortunately don't have enough money to get the buy-in. So they'll be looking at an eco. At that point, we should see Forza up 7-2. I mean, not a full eco. They will be able to invest a bit. Of course, with the full loss bonus going, we'll maybe see some pistols, bit of Kevlar, a scout coming out for Snacks. But, yeah, I mean, it's becoming a bit of an issue. It's not like Forza are building up loads of money, but they do have a bit onto a couple players where they would be able to spread it out to actually get a buy. And I'd like to see a bit of a change up from Forza. They've been focusing very heavily towards A, and you can see early on now, this time, going to be put over towards tunnels with 3 players. And there's no one on B at the moment. VP are gambling this wildly. And I like that with the pistols, but it might not be the correct decision. As I say, that beginning to move back up, but for the moment, Forza, they are keeping things relatively slow.
A couple of issues in the previous round where we saw a little bit of over-aggression coming through from Zapara. He found the 1 kill, but really in that position when they had the plant on the site, his job was to watch long with that AWP. We're talking about the manpower that they had. Well, Almazer's covering short, which leaves 2 to watch the CT push up, and then Zapara to watch long. And it came through, it worked for them in the end, winning it out, but obviously they lost a couple of rifles that they maybe didn't need to. In this case, you can see that obviously against just a couple pistols, they're playing it much differently, much slower, and in groups of 2, with the exception of Zapower, who's gone out for a couple of picks, but now just very patiently bunkered down in tunnels, looking for any aggression, maintaining the map control, and obviously taking as little risk as possible. I like the smoke there to try bait them out into peeking. As PHR dies, that's going to be the end of the round. Forza avoid any losses, which is really nice considering the damage that we saw done the last time VP had a very light buy when they managed to walk away with 3 heads. And because of this, the T's money is building up even further. They're definitely secure for 2 losses in a row. They'll still be able to get those buys up. And for now, this is a real, the most pivotal round for VP. If they lose this, then Forza walk away with limitless buys, essentially. And VP will be guaranteed, obviously, losing the half, but by a considerable amount, I'd imagine.
Yeah, not looking good. Z-Power already kicking things off towards long. Snatchy going down, getting snatched away from the rest of his teammates. Oh, the short control, though, is, of course, currently in favor of VP, rather. Mihu hitting himself a nice headshot. Will pull one back. Flit trying to get aggressive out mid, trying to serve a bit of a distraction, maybe. As you can see, of course, that full push going to be coming in too long, but this is everyone now, and it's Face Crack living up to the name. Just walks onto the A bomb site. First of all, kills that short rotator, and then just destroys the player on the bomb site. He decided it was finally time to pop up. I mean, gets a little bit aggressive afterwards, so he will end up going down. Damage that's been done, that nade, yeah, absolutely perfect. Almazar goes down. Z-Power, though, in the 1-on-2. Low health. But I mean, with the op, we've seen him hit these shots before. Manages to pick up the first and escape behind the smoke. Leaving it all onto PHR. Doesn't currently have a defuse get in his possession either. Being cautious. Doesn't want to get caught off guard by the op. Will eventually move forward. Retrieves himself a smoke to work with. That definitely makes things a little bit easier. Having the op, it's not easy to be able to actually spam away into the smoke. And there it is. Decides rather to try and creep around. And PHR just tapping the bomb. Will peek out for the headshot. Plenty of time to come in for the defuse. And he should be able to retrieve that op, I believe, from Kar as well. Let's see if he's going to be able to make it. Yeah, it should be all good. Close round, though. That's an issue. VP, they finally get one on the board, but only been able to keep 1 player alive. You will, of course, see it impact the buy now in this round.
Yeah, at least their loss bonus isn't completely reset at this point, so they've something to fall back on. But even still, with all the investment that they're leaning in towards here, it's going to be rough. And you see a weakness already, actually. Veggie taking out an SMG. He's got the MP9 to work with. Snacks tagged on the cross to B. And Forza going for early long control. They're a little bit late there, but they use the flashes to push them back. And you see VP give up on their hopes of short control. Sorry, of long control. And instead move over towards short. Flit went aggressive down middle. And usually he's playing passive and trying to catch them off on the rotates. Attempting to entry early on and spotting them towards CT doesn't net them a whole lot. So they're at a man disadvantage now. But Zapower's trying to recover that. Misses the shot. And he's down to 11 HP. This is a disaster of a start for Forza, but at least they've got long control to look towards. But realistically, they need a pick before anything happens, especially because VP have aggressively taken short after losing long earlier on, and they're playing anti-flash with Snatchy posted on the corner and an SMG and Veggie ready to swing around immediately. He'll be needed as Jerry's being spotted out up close. Face crack! Oh my god, he picks up 2 on long. They've got it open, but no bomb with them just yet, and that's going to be a huge issue.
Yeah, certainly going to slow them down. I mean, it could, as you said, be an issue now because VP are given a little bit of time to maybe try and work together. That lower tunnel's up, though, still being a bit of a nuisance. Had the correct angle to spot the head. Veggie has absolutely no idea, just gets taken down. Still going towards the A bomb site, and I mean, this is where Snatchy is going to be here to try and defend. Holds back 1 on the player, getting aggressive up on short, and Almazar being cautious of that CT cross because they didn't have a second smoke to cover it off. So it's going to come down to the kills right now, I believe. Excess Power not going to be connected. Neither is Snatchy, and eventually Excess Power just pops in on the P250 to finish him off. And now it's coming down to Snacks in that 1 versus 1. The flash is going in. I'm not sure if he's actually heard the drop down into the spawn, but he definitely should be careful. Yeah, watching that smoke creep through. I think he knows what's going on. Spots the shadow, and an easy spam comes in. VP going to get themselves yet another round just by the skin of their teeth. 1 player alive yet again. Managing to save the op over, so it will be dropped back to Snatchy, so he's able to keep that in play. But I mean, even then, he's not doing too great so far, and you do expect a lot more from Snatchy on a map here like Dust 2 on the CT side as well. This is where you really want him to get going.
Yeah, Zapower's just outclassing him at the moment. 16 kills on the board, and you saw there pulling it back in very rough situations. He had 11 HP, but still finds both short players. Winning at the op duel, which is obviously easier said than done, and Veggie not clearing him down towards lower tunnels. Oh, Snacks is 1 HP, being spammed through the doors on long. Getting out of here is going to be pretty difficult. Nade going through, and good night, Snacks. No, it went to the right. It bounced away. But a flash is going to come through. Now, Snacks, I think, at most is going to get a little bit more damage. Oh, he jumps into face crack.
Oh, the stab.
Just the spam's all that's needed, and there we go. Doesn't find any damage for it. I mean, he's lucky because he jumped into face crack, so I thought the sound would have been heard and face would have just spammed away. 7-4. Forza with a man advantage. Things are looking pretty grim for VP, especially as they're about to go towards A with the fake, with the utility being thrown out, and as B hasn't been hit all too often, they wouldn't have expected it, but for me, who's spotting them.
Don't think they saw the bomb, though. I don't believe Jerry was peeking. They will still decide to send it back through the spawn, though. Maybe bring it over towards this A-bomb site where there's an op currently to try and defend. So this could still get a little bit awkward for them. Snatchy will need to hit some great shots, and I mean, with his teammates just falling all around them, it's looking less and less likely. Face crack peeking perfectly up onto the bomb site, creeping around. And with that, only PHR remains, that B defender. Going to be pushing forward, and I think he should be taken down pretty quickly. If he can get this kill, though, that is a nice upgrade. Yeah, there we have it. An extra $600 to work with. A Krieg to go ahead and pick up, but will they let him save this? I mean, I don't think they can afford to lose more than one player here, but they may still go for it to just at least try and ensure the trade. They do know he's tagged a bit.
Good read by... what? I mean, I thought that was a good read by PHR. He turned from a flash, here's the flash, and then just goes, I'm not worried. Whatever. Interesting. Yeah, for PHR, though, I think he made the right read, staying towards the B bomb site, because Mihu pushes up. So just before Mihu pushed up, to give it context, there was utility being thrown out on A. They'd found an opening pick. They'd shown 3 players, and they were pushing forward. With that, and the fact that Forza favored A so often, when he pushed up and saw a player lurking tunnels, which hadn't been done before, oh, hold on, we've got a pistol rush on long. Let's focus on that. Jerry's just being team killed. Mihu comes in with another. You're down to a 1 versus 3, but still good damage done by VP. This late on in the half, though, you're not really looking for damage. But no, I think the minute that they saw a player lurking, I know they didn't spot the bomb, or at least we don't think they did, but they knew at least one was lurking outside B, which hadn't been done so far. I think the furthest away a player was at mid doors. You get a sense that something's going on, so PHR sits there thinking maybe it's going to be a fake to B, but obviously Forza make that read. They understand that there's a possibility bomb was spotted, there's a possibility that they leave their B anchors there, and so they rotate around to A. It was definitely the right call. And again, just shows the efficiency of Jerry as an IGL. And at the moment, yeah, he might not be top fragging because the power is just owning the show, but generally he's one of the most consistent riflers on that team while leading the squad at the same time.
Oh, definitely. I don't think there's really anyone on that lineup who holds them back in terms of the fragging power.
For sure.
Everyone able to contribute when it's needed. Of course, as you said, Z-Power, sometimes when he gets going on that op, he can definitely take over the game, but that's something you want. You want to have someone who can take over the game, and then you want to have a solid foundation behind them. People who are able to step up, people who are able to hold it together, maybe when he's not having that spectacular performance. Oh, and there we go. Final kill going to be coming in. A little bit awkward. Probably didn't hear the footsteps. The bomb, of course, exploding. Can be quite loud, I mean, as you would guess. Here's the buy again from VP. In a position now where they ideally need to pick up at least one of these final 2 rounds to leave themselves in a somewhat decent position heading into that second half. I mean, it is a little bit T-sided here on Dust 2, but I wouldn't say massively. You'd be looking at a 9-6, maybe an 8-7 for it to be a position where both teams are feeling pretty happy.
Forza changing it up massively with their preference towards the B side at the moment. Oh, Jerry's going to be caught out in middle. At least he finds one before maybe going down to that nade. No, he gets away on 9 HP. B side's almost lost. You've got Snacks who's got to do the majority of the holding at the moment. 2 kills on the board, and he's being supported by PHR, who spots them walking forward and saves Snacks from what could have been a dastardly engagement. This is a really strong spot now for VP, looking much better when it comes to B holds. I say as Jerry finds one, but gets taken down on the low HP. PHR eventually finishing him off. They don't know Zapower's out on the site just yet, but he's basically surrounded at this point. 1 shot off, and now they know where he is, but they're still outside, which means they've got to peek into an angle that he could potentially be holding. I don't know how you handle this. Oh, Ziv wants to go aggressive. Coming around the shadows, being spotted, and Mihu finds him. AWP saved over for the next round, which isn't too bad for the CT side, but 9-5, I mean, Forza have already got plenty of rounds on the board. At this point, anything that they can improve on is just a bonus, and FaceCrack can drop over 1 weapon at least to make sure that they've got a decent stock to work with. There you go. Oh, look at that. 4 Kriegs and an op. That is...
Scopes galore.
It's a scary buy.
Maybe they all just have really poor eyesight.
They sit really close to their monitors when they use the AK.
Yeah, I mean, this buy from VP, not great. I mean, again, a position where they get themselves around, but instantly put back onto a relatively weak buy, at least, especially rather in comparison to their opponents. So a little bit slow from Almazar. May have been somewhat distracted. Did manage to pick himself up the headshot eventually, but Jerry trying to get aggressive on middle ends up going down. That's an interesting one. Didn't have anyone near him to try and actually follow it up. So the fact that he's trying to pressure mid alone on a 5-on-4, a little bit unnecessary, I would say. Still a favorable position here for Forza, of course, being that they are on the T side. VP are the ones that can have to split themselves up a little bit more, but Forza are still going for the very individual plays, and it's just not working out. VP are starting to step it up now on an individual level. Their firepower looking a little bit more consistent, and it was definitely a good time to do so. The man advantage, will they be able to turn this into a round win is the question. Force still having 3 players, more than capable. That net doing some damage on middle, but the smoke will now go down. And in the meantime, the push on towards B is successful. PHR gets dropped.
Great reactions there from the CTs. I mean, Mihu gets dropped after, but he's Molotov'd out. He's in a really bad position. The flash goes through and he pushes on the back of it. It's nice to see the team just clicking like that so quickly. Watch out for Zapower. He's flanking with an AWP. Comes around behind Snatchy. He knows oh no, Zapower's missed the shot. That's a little bit awkward. Pushing into the site. Now they know there's only one player here. They spotted him out as well. Maester trying to buy time as Zapower rotates around to help him out. Snatchy comes in with a pistol and goes out without a head. 10-5. And Forza are well ahead after that half. And think of the rounds that VP won. I mean, nothing was really convincing for them. This is it's sort of panning out the way we expected, Dean.
Yeah, I said it'd be a competitive game, so I do still hope VP will be able to give us a bit. And if they do, I feel like the T side is definitely going to be a bit better for them. Question is, will it be enough? I mean, 10 rounds there for Forza on their T side. I feel like they're going to be looking pretty confident on the CT side, especially if Z-Power is connecting his shots. I mean, he in the majority in that previous half definitely was. Don't forget about that one moment. But yeah, VP, I don't know. It's going to be a tough recovery, especially here on a map that they just don't normally feel confident on. Confidence is something that is so important, and the fact that they haven't won an official on it yet, definitely a little bit worrying. But who knows? Going to be going live into that second pistol round now, so let's see what both teams are going to be actually purchasing up. Bit of utility already being pulled out for PHR. That full set. Kevlar elsewhere so far. Veggie may consider some as well. And indeed, a smoke going to be brought out. So maybe just the standard long rush. 2 smokes going to be put down perhaps to allow for them to actually cross over. 3 flashes then as well to use. And surprisingly, Forza not actually going to be picking up a defuse kit. Oh, I think they were spotted actually pushing up mid. Look at this. VP just want to go straight up for the fight. And I mean, it goes pretty well for them, to be fair. Snatchy and Veggie going to be able to pull one back each in response to the 2 casualties that they did suffer. And in the meantime, the short control being taken should give them the open A bomb site. They don't realize that completely. There is a player coming in from the CT spawn now. That's Almazar. And they're still going to be able to actually find themselves that kill. Okay. Surprisingly, Almazar even peeking out there. There was 2 players flanking up short. I wanted to have waited for his teammates. But in the meantime, kills just keep coming in. One eventually being found by Z-Power, but it will be VP to actually pull that pistol around their favor. That was a little crazy, the way it went out. I don't think they even planned to go towards mid initially. They were running over towards long until PHR, who was shoulder peeking mid, actually spotted the aggression.
That's why Forza obviously decided they didn't want to run for a kit, just taking those very aggressive early fights. Now look towards VP's aggression on long. This could work out very poorly for them. There's a heavy stack at the moment. As they run forward with the MAC-10s in hand, the smoke luckily being used to isolate player after player. Snacks gets himself 2 before falling, and Snatchy's there to trade, hiding behind the smoke now. Jerry hasn't yet been spotted, but he's got to make a move. He hears Snatchy towards the pit. And Snatchy with the MAC-10 switches targets and survives, but only on 15 HP after being tagged down by that scout. Zapower stuck behind the car, though, and he is gone. Who? Oh, 2 guys DC'd. Mihu and PHR. So the Polish internet is what it is. We have the same issue for Illuminar. I think Illuminar gets hit so much worse by it, though. I don't think I've seen Illuminar play a full best of 1 or full map without someone disconnecting.
Oh, well, that's not good. That's definitely something. And it doesn't matter who. It's just randomly off the team. Sounds like a weird issue.
I mean, the same issue happens with Big, right? They're in a gaming house and they have 2 lines of internet, not just 1. They've got 2, and they still struggle to get like a meg download, and sometimes it just dies. Yeah, I'm glad I don't live there.
Yeah, I remember back in like 2014, 2015, watching games and people would be getting DDoSed constantly. I
Yeah.
believe it was mentioned then that players even started getting themselves a second line just because it was.
Yeah.
all those
They're
salty betters, you know.
I've heard it's like German and Polish internet can be really really annoying to work with sometimes, just like inconsistent infrastructure wise. But
I
it's
mean,
hella
Ireland's
cheap.
isn't amazing, but it's
No,
okay.
God, no, it isn't. I mean, how many times have you or I been the ones actually producing, and then your net just goes, nope,
Out of nowhere, you won't have a single issue, and it'll
nope.
happen on a day where you need it to be perfect.
Yeah, indeed. Oh yeah, you could do a week of just gaming, no worries. Then tournament starts. Oh, look at that, 100 kilobyte internet. Enjoy.
I don't even get that. Mine just randomly turns off every now and again. I have to quickly restart the router and come back on. Wait for it
Yeah,
to come back on, rather.
I just can't wait
So
for
that's
like
being on.
50 years from now. That's not going to be a thing.
Hopefully,
Everything will be
hopefully not.
consistent. We'll have hoverboards and everything. I mean, we already have hoverboards, so but they're magnetic, not magic.
Oh,
We'll
I
see.
wanted
We'll see how
magic.
long.
That's not as fun.
Yeah, I know. You got to
There's
have
not
copper
not as
over the
much
road.
wonder to it. Not as much
I wonder,
mystery.
like a city. You know the thing, a city's going to be built eventually with copper underneath the paths, so that you can just hover on it with the magnetic hoverboards. That'd be
That's
pretty cool.
that would be really fun.
Because it needs no fuel, right? It's just magnets. It's all good.
I mean, there would have to be pretty much everything
Propulsion.
would have to be redone. So
Oh yeah.
it would be something that probably will not happen, as you said. It'd have to be there from the get go. Otherwise, a lot of renovation going to be needed on
Yeah.
pretty much everything. I believe
They're
we do have
back
everyone
in.
back in the server anyway. Hopefully that means we should be ready to go live soon. VP
Yeah.
in a position here where they should be taking themselves a pretty easy 8th round before Forze actually do get themselves onto the guns. We see a Zeus coming out though for Flit. I'm wondering where he's going to be using that. Maybe just over on B. There's not, or maybe close on mid doors. I mean, there's a couple viable positions, but it's not something like Inferno where you can pretty much go anywhere on the map in every corner. You have a chance of actually picking up that Zeus kill. So you do have to be a little bit more selective.
You know, both coaches were in as well the whole time, so we're Gucci to go. 10-7. Look, VP are looking pretty decent, but they're going to lose another round more than likely, considering they've only got those lighter pistols. That heavy stack towards long to start us off. You've got Zapower playing further back, and he's got a flashbang in his hand. Over goes the flash, and in comes the peak. But PHR was luckily passive enough that he can fall back. Plus, he's only got a P250, so it wouldn't be a giant scalp to take anyways. Flit hiding up close behind the doors. Is this going to be checked? Well, it's very regularly Molotov, but in this case, they don't have the option to do that. But they decide instead not to split through middle and instead to just straight hit the B site. They win on the range duels easily against Almazer, considering you've got the Kriegs out and the bomb site's going to be taken. Maybe there's a bit of difficulty for me, who luckily again on the Mac 10, so it isn't the worst gun to lose if he does. He can take a little bit of money as he goes. Peak coming through from Jerry, but Zapower swings out and gets taken down as well. Snatchy was there to help with the frag onto Jerry, so that Mihu could easily transfer over and find that frag.
Yeah, not a bad round by VP. They don't have a lot of money built up though, so ideally, or they want to be taking this first gun round as well, and then giving themselves the chance to actually start getting something behind them. Again, all scopes going to be coming in. 4 Kriegs, an AWP. Over on the CT side, they have the 2 scopes, the 1 off, the 1 AUG, then in the hands of Almazer. And let's see, I mean, this is a pretty crucial round. That Krieg peeking down mid. It's about PHR, didn't really connect any substantial damage. Instead, it's over on Shard, where eventually we will see that opening kill coming in favor of Snacks. And you can see Z-Power immediately actually wanting to go for...
I think Dean's just died a death. You still with us, Dean? Nope. So we're just talking about the internet cutouts. There you go. That's exactly what we were speaking about. Snatchy takes down Zapower towards short. A Flit's stuck in the corner. This is not a good spot for Forza to play from. Facecrack's even thinking about getting aggressive. Right into me, who he goes. And right down. Afterwards, does Flit find a second in middle? Nobody makes it out alive, and maybe that's going to be a little bit more valuable. Moving on to long. And Mihu, will catch him with his back turn. That's not a nice sight. Almazer rotating through is again going to have to challenge Mihu. There's a smoke there at the moment. He's got to wait, bide his time. Smoke fades, but he's not peeking just yet. They know there's an AWP floating around as well, so there's obviously the concern that they'll be watching him. Looking for the save and possibly the exit. Exiting through CT, not too common, but in through short into middle, maybe. Or if they want to hunt him and move towards B, I suppose. Now, VP don't have a lot of money. I'd rather see them not hunt at the moment. Playing a little bit more passive would be ideal. And yeah, they're just, you can see the main highlight is PHR there on short, just behind the stairs, tucked in, moving left and right, seeing if anybody's going to push him, but he's not interested in taking a fight unless he really has to. Look at the amount of scopes coming out for VP right now. You've got 4 Kriegs and AWP on Snatchy. And Forze not quite going to be favored when it comes to the long-range duels. Zapower gets lit down and taken out as well by Snatchy on the wall bangs through middle. That's going to be a scout retrieve from, or by Flit at least. And with PHR falling now, you're going to see Long completely overtaken by VP. They've got to go back and get that bomb, but it's not too much of a concern because there's still players close by. There we go, yeah, pushing back through Long, going towards the side itself. Forze attempting to take some scrappy fights wherever they can get their hands on them. Retaking in through short. They have got a 1v1 potentially onto Mihu, but that smoke goes down and completely blocks them out of it. Flit catching Snatchy on the cross. There's a free kill for them, and going back in to find that bomb. It's going to cost them a little bit of time. Mihu's even actually aggressing to find the frag and takes Flit down. Looks towards short, but he's caught out with a Molotov in his hand. This could be huge now for the CT side. Shots hit by Jerry, and it's all onto Snacks. 19 health to play with. A flash goes over on the site, but Snacks has to get in there, has to retrieve the bomb, and look at the rotations. Forze going around through Long and CT. Jerry watching the cross, and he gets the headshot. The IGL with a 3K and 15 kills on the round now, 11-9. Forze are looking good, and guess who we've got? Because Dean's having some tech issues. It's joining us from halfway across the world. It's the beautiful Mike.
How you doing, Mitch? How's it going?
Much better now that I hear your voice.
Yes, it is. All right, we're good to
Oh,
go.
god damn it.
We're good to go here. Stream can hear me, not just you. So yeah, I'm gonna hop in for a little bit, at least until Dean revives from internet jail. See, his problem was he was commenting on someone else's internet, and so the karma gods said, "We're gonna punish you for it."
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, talk smack about Polish internet, will you? Yeah, we'll show you. Well, look at this. We've got Flit's taking the secondary op. It's not too common.
No, not for this team. You really don't see it very often. Dust 2 is one of those maps that tends to lend itself to it, though. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do with that secondary op. You can see he's already setting up to potentially take this duel with Snatchy in towards the tunnels, which could get quite tricky. It's actually going to be the Krieg instead, or the AUG, rather. Wrong side. To catch it out. Scoped rifle, one way or another. Going to catch the kill, going to do the damage here. Now this gets interesting. Player down early on, VP, having lost the last round. Bit on the back foot. Bank kind of drained here. They look like they want to take some control in towards mid, but there's good positioning, at least early on for Jerry. He'll do some damage, but not a kill. Becky is low, and that is going to set them up to be harvested by Almazer, who had the angle. Now the aggression out. Long is a little bit hasty. Face crack running around with his knife out. That just doesn't work.
No, not quite. You can't throw knives in this game, unfortunately. You get a Krieg and 2 ops that'll hold down up against Snacks, who's known to be towards middle and presumed on short. As time starts to tick away, 25 seconds on the clock, Snacks is backing off slowly, and in some cases this would be him making his way to Long, but at the moment, looks like he's going to be pushing through. I actually thought he was going to save, but no, he's aggressing through. He's been heard by Almazer. Now he's backing off. Looks like he's not really sure where to go. Saving in towards the tunnels, picks up an op, but hello, says Flit. Secondary op with a second kill, and 12-9. It looks like we've got the wonderful Dean back. Dean,
just about. I'm loading it.
The second that we make a comment about your internet potentially cutting out, it cuts out. I love it.
Cut out in a week or two.
Exactly.
Well. Like not even once. It's just no luck over here right now. I mean, bit unfortunate, but I see I did miss a little bit. And in the time I was gone, it seems like Forze has definitely taken back control of this game. I mean, you see VP on an eco. Forze likely going to be bringing that lead up 13-9, and at that point, if VP don't get that next gun round, they are going to be in a lot of trouble.
Well, I'm going to hop back behind my keyboard and leave you boys to it.
Oh, wait, no. Why can we have a threesome?
Yeah, I'm good for a 3-way, Mike, if you want to. And you can cast as well. I don't mind.
No, I'm going to fade back, let you boys take the spotlight. Just like Forza just took the spotlight in that round.
All right, we'll see you soon, Mike. Thanks for stepping in. Appreciate you. He's on the observing as well, so if you have any problems with the observing, be sure to hit up Mike on Twitter. It's the way to go.
Yeah, it's all his fault. So
If you have any praise, don't mention it, but
send that
only
to us actually.
yeah, only criticism. If there was something you like, hit us up. If something you don't like, at Darth Mike on Twitter. That's where we gotta bring it.
Especially if a game is starting late. Opening kill though, going to be coming in from Z Power already. The up-bot's actually over towards mid. The secondary one in the hands of Flit also going to be connecting. Not quite picking up the kill, but Mihu being dropped down to 20 health already. A really good position here for Forza early on in a gun round that could pretty much close this one out for them. They just keep re-peeking long, or rather it's Z Power that keeps re-peeking. And understandably, he was hungry and he's taking it all. Snatchy and Mihu all that remain. The flick from Flit this time will finish off Mihu. Goes for the second one. Not going to be connecting on Snatchy, but I mean, either way here, it's a 5-on-1. I don't think there's a lot Snatchy's going to be able to do about it.
That's a rough one, especially with the AWP, and as he goes down to Zapara, that puts him on 24 kills. Zapara's having a hell of a game right now. PHR, 0 kills. What a noob, am I right? No, he DC'd obviously earlier on. As his stats going to be reset.
Mihu's up to 7, to be fair.
Yeah, no, he's recovering. Well, not even recovering. He played really well throughout this when he didn't DC as well. We'll take a look at the stats after the game, I'm sure. But the secondary op in the hands of Flit's been performing much better than I expected. Again, like Mike was saying when he was on here, it's very much lends itself towards that. Mihu, the player we're talking about, opens it up on short by trading out. He's got the AWP. Jerry was backing off, and they're just picking up op after op. Snatchy in there with the kill as he focused on the wrong target. Jerry taken down, the bomb site overrun, and a Krieg retrieved. This is not a good sight, but Facecrack finds 2 from short. And look at the creep of Flit coming up. He's on the ramp, and he's dead. PHR checked it just in time. Almazer now doesn't know that he has bomb control, so Flash goes over. He spotted it at this point. Call out should be there. There we go. He realizes and plays this a little bit more passive. Knowing you're up against probably either an Op or a Krieg at this point, you do not want to be peeking into that angle, especially not with an AUG.
Oh, definitely not. Also has a slight health advantage, but he's willing to give the bomb up. Actually going to try and wrap it around towards long. Issue is, I think if PHR was to push forward and retrieve that bomb right now, if he didn't get shot off from short, I think his guess at that point would be that he has wrapped around towards long. So the question is, how long is PHR actually gonna chill on this A bomb site for? And it seems like he will for quite a while. So this has given Almazer a very good opportunity to position himself. PHR needs to be cautious, just beginning to creep forward. Oh, that is the perfect timing. Almazer either way, though, still going to be pushing up through long, so picking up that bomb, going to be a bit of an issue. He's coming in now, has the AUG, will be able to scope in. Easy enough kill. Didn't quite pick up the headshot, but the spam comes in either way. The op going to be retrieved. That can be dropped back over. It will be given to Flit. I'd imagine Z-Power already buying himself one. And with that 15-9, this is the last opportunity for VP. They have decent money. They will be able to get themselves a strong buy. They're actually going for a double op setup here on the T side, a little bit of a switch up. But it's going to have to be 6 in a row to take this to overtime.
And they're going for a double op setup on the T side now. Snatchy and Snacks deploying those scopes to see what they can do. Where are we seeing this? So Snacks is positioned at the moment towards long, and we're seeing Snatchy looking down middle to see if he can catch anybody on the cross. Not quite having the success that we saw from Zapara and Jerry as well with the Krieg. As no one's showing themselves just yet. Of course, the op has a little bit less spam ability than the Krieg. Jerry was just tapping down when he was on the T side. Snacks letting them know there's an AWP towards long. They might be a little bit less cautious about peeking into Snatchy if they weren't right beside each other. Obviously, Snacks could have rotated into that position. The op buddies. Facecrack's not going to push here. Not commit to that push anyways. He's got a very aggressive position up close. And they just cleared this out, what, 10 seconds ago? I don't think they expect him to be here. Oh, but he peeks out into them. It was unnecessary, but he didn't know that they were still around this area trying to get a little bit of information for his team, but losing his life in the process and forcing Forza to take short control at this point because they've got nothing on longer. They can't just sit on the site as they push forward. Mihu picks up one. Trade is there, but it's just not good enough at the moment. As VP still have a hefty advantage, especially as that A player is completely isolated, and you can see Zapara opts to drop towards CT and play very passive, spotting the cross. No smoke on Snatchy. Neither does Snacks, but PHO rotates around to smoke off the cross. Okay, I was worried about Snatchy straight peeking it. Flash goes over. Timing isn't quite there for it, but it doesn't matter. They've gained all the control, taken over short, and a bomb site plant. For Forza now, I mean, you could even consider a save, considering the cash they've... Yeah, there we go. Running up towards B.
Yeah, it's the safe approach right now. A couple players who wouldn't be able to really rebuy for themselves if Flit and Forza go down, Flit and Almazar rather go down, then they would be looking a little iffy. But Jerry, Face Crack, they have some decent money. There's enough for maybe some drops to come in as well. And of course, having the room to work with, only needing one more round to close this one out, taking the safe approach definitely worthwhile. Don't really need to risk those retakes. And as you can see, VP not in a position to hunt it either, so they're going to be saving over their weapons. Don't really have the ability to lose anything at this point. They want to keep that double up setup in play, and they also want to ensure that they're going to be able to keep weapons really in the hands of everyone in this upcoming round. Mihu looks good to buy for himself. 15 to 10, 5 more to go for VP. As we said, the buy still going to be available here for Forze, but if we see VP taking themselves this, then they should be looking at a pretty easy 12th round to come in off the back of it. At that point then, maybe just the 1 or 2 more gun rounds for Forza. So I mean, it's definitely doable, but so far I haven't really seen that consistency from VP to make me believe in it.
No, that's it, right? The rounds they've been winning have been close with the exception of the previous, but was it just a once-off? Well, we'll find out now. Flitz solo holding towards the B side. He's got very little support, and the timing to rotate around him is going to be very minimal. We need to see aggression coming in as Flit finds one. Now he's basically forced out of the site. He's still going with a second and a third. What is that from Flit? They're coming out of tunnels one by one, and he takes every single fight, winning it out for his team and taking it across the line in extraordinary fashion as the secondary op.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. VP, I mean, as I said, I expected them to be able to give us a decent enough show, and I did hope it was going to be a bit of a closer game. It definitely seemed like they never really got themselves into it. They never looked like they maybe were in a position to get themselves to control, apart from, of course, those opening 2 rounds. And that's another thing. VP actually winning both pistol rounds and still losing 16 to 10. I mean, you do just expect a lot more from them.
Yeah, that's it. With the pistols under your belt, you should be able to make it a much closer series. But we got to commend, well, Zapower, first of all, for his first 3 quarters of that game. But man, when Flip picked up that secondary op, his performance shot on up. Forza, like I said, coming into this, and like we said, that they're just the better team in this matchup. And for VP, there were good signs there with Mihu having a fantastic game. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't there. The performance from them on Dust 2, we know it's not their best map in terms of win rates, but like we said, they were losing every time, and 4 out of 5 teams were of a higher caliber than them. So it's certainly respectable.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely, as we said, just a better map for Force kind of went as expected. But it's the next game that I'm actually really looking forward to, Mitch. Habu versus Gamer Legion. That is certainly going to be an exciting one. Of course, Gamer Legion recently having a roster change, I believe. It was bringing in Freddie B. I can't actually recall exactly who it was they removed. You might be able to give me that info there, Mitch, because I have a silly memory.
That's a good question. I'll have to take a look as well. I've been keeping up with the Gamer Legion. They were shifting around quite a lot.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it here. So you've got HS was playing with them for quite a while. Screamman's out a while back.
It's another Swede, I believe they removed.
Plessen then it would have been.
Oh, that's who it was. Yeah,
That's
Plessen. Bringing in Freddie B, I think, is definitely a really good fit for that lineup. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they perform. And of course, Havu, they haven't been too shabby either.
Because it was Pleasant came in to replace one of Scream and HS because they both departed around the same time, and then Pleasant came in, and now he's gone for Freddy. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be my first time seeing this full 5, anyways, hitting it up, and that's going to be going live in just a couple of minutes, Dean. So we'll throw things over to a break, and we'll be back with Havu versus Gamer Legion very soon.